Reaper is actually insane right now, guys. He is an incredible DPS, and I think we could be walking into a Reaper meta because the value you get from playing this hero in 222 is just incredible. Hey guys, I'm Stalosa and welcome to the channel. Okay, let's take a look at this and let's try and explain and work out what is going on with Reaper on the PTR. So the big question is, have you guys played him on PTR? If you haven't, you should go and check it out. You're going to see in this video here, there's loads of clips, loads of examples of me just deleting the enemy team. He is so powerful, but I think he's powerful because of this. There's less diva. He has insane sustain, and he's also got really huge DPS, which is no shock, right? We always have known Reaper is a high DPS hero when he's got things to fire at, when things are in his face. So let's take a look at the very first point I touched on there, and that is less diva. Kind of funny because you can see me destroying a diva here and she's frozen. I'm just killing everybody in this room and it's horrible. It's disgusting. It's Reaper. I mean, hell, you're going to get massive value off your ultimate in that kind of room when everyone's on top of each other. But let's just talk about diva. So there's less diva because it's 222. So it means you have a primary and an off tank. Yeah, a main and an off tank, and then you can't have goats anymore. You can't have triple tanks. You can't have a DPS go into a diva to counter a Reaper. Right now, the current meta is Orisa and Hog. Now, that is the tank meta, and I expect that to be the tank meta when Roll Q rolls out onto the live servers. This means there is a massive window of opportunity for Reaper because nothing can really stop him. Other DPS can't really stop Reaper unless you get shot in the head by a Widow or something like that, or maybe McCree gets you when Wraith form is on cooldown. There's a lot of Reaper just gets massive value. Now, the thing with Diva is Diva shuts down Reaper hardcore. If Reaper tries to get into a fight, Diva puts defense matrix on him, he does nothing. Now, what about Sigma, you guys are probably asking? Sigma's got a defense matrix, right? So he kind of has. The thing with Sigma's defense matrix, it's a personal defense matrix, and he has to literally walk up to you with it, or you have to fire into him while he's got kinetic grasp active. You're probably not going to do that. You're just going to let him do it and then just shoot somebody else. Diva shuts you down, and she shuts your ultimate down as well, which, yes, Sigma can do that if he's on top of you, but again, it's more difficult for Sigma to achieve that. The big thing, though, is without the Diva, your damage is your damage. You are just piling this into the enemy team. But I think it goes deeper than that. I think when we start looking at 222 comps, we need to start talking about sustain. Now, in the past, and this has kind of been true, well, it's true in recent history with Overwatch, Goats was the meta comp. Now, not necessarily on ladder, you wouldn't see it everywhere on ladder, but at the pro level, it was most definitely the comp. Now, what did Goats have in abundance? Masses of sustain. The idea is you just don't die. You stay on the fight, in the fight, on the point, you just keep going, you don't die, you out-sustain the enemy team, you beat them with better ability management, better ultimate usage, that's what you do. Reaper kind of enables a Goats 2.0, especially when you throw him in with a Mei, and you'll see this a lot. Reaper and Mei is like a really good DPS combo in 222. You've got a super tanky team there. You've got two DPS that can heal themselves. Yeah, especially, I mean, Reaper, you guys can see in these clips in the background here. Reaper, you just delete people, right? You get close to people, you're going to delete them. But the big thing is you get health back. And it's crazy how much health back Reaper gets, especially if you're like, even when you're against the Diva, you can delete them. The thing is, though, your ultimate isn't the best, as you're about to see here. So, yeah, I pop my ultimate here. I'm not getting too much value because Diva just, well, she put defense matrix on me. And if we look at this again, you'll see the ultimate kind of is the weak point. I mean, yeah, okay. It was a bit of a YOLO yeeted ultimate that was. I was like, hey, maybe I'll get value, and I didn't because there was a Diva there. Now, you could say, well, Star, you should demech the Diva or wait until she uses defense matrix or something like that. But the thing is, it's not a great ultimate. And I think that's kind of okay for Reaper, given how powerful he is in other areas. I mean, this usage of the ultimate here, the enemy team have pushed way too far forward, so I can just ult them in the background, do a ton of damage, and we can push forward and start killing people. Like you can see here, this Diva, you can just delete the Diva when she's got no defense matrix, because you're Reaper, that's what you do. You delete people at close range. Nobody can take you on at close range. You will annihilate them. But it isn't just close range, and this is the mad thing. He's deceptive. He really is deceptive. He's quite effective beyond that 5-meter range. Reaper is. You're firing at people, and it's really deceptive how much damage you'll do to them when they're not point blank on you. So if you are going to start playing Reaper, don't be afraid of just shooting at the enemy team from range. Not obviously not massive range. Don't go for like, oh, hey, they're 20 meters away, I'm going to snipe them. That's not going to work, is it? But like here, you can see where I'm dropping down from the roof. I could have started firing at them with my primary fire there if I didn't have my ultimate, and he would have done quite a surprising amount of damage. And you guys have probably noted, as this video has been playing through these clips, there are times where I do a ton of damage damage to people when they're not literally point blank range on me. And that's actually a bit mental. So yeah, Reaper adds a ton of sustain, and of course Mei does, but this video is about Reaper. Massive DPS, massive sustain. This means when you're in a 2-2-2 meta, you sort of have a pseudo sort of 3-3 comp in a way, because you've got a DPS hero that maybe kind of starts bleeding into a tanky slot, especially that Roadhog slot, where, yes, he's got a lot of sustain, he's doing a lot of damage, he's very potent. You've got to be very careful of the Reaper. If you catch him out on his own, he's probably going to get away with his escape. We haven't even spoke about his teleport either, which is really, really good, because you've got to remember, this was buffed recently, so you can teleport around, and you're pretty much silent. The enemy won't pick you up if you're crouching, teleporting, coming in. One thing you've got to be aware of though, if you do teleport to high ground, if you jump off the high ground and land on the floor, Reaper makes quite an audible like a grunt when he hits the ground from high. So that'll probably give your position away, which I think it gives my position away here on the Mecha Base as Moira just gets deleted. I mean, I do have damage boost there from Mercy, but you could see look at how much damage I was doing to the Zen at range there. It was just crazy. It's mad. It's like you would think you would do less damage at that range, but you don't. You just do massive damage. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. The biggest thing for Reaper though is value. You get so much value through playing this hero. It is just crazy. Very much like Hanzo, right? This bit here in the clip, this is where I die instantly here. I'm like, what? How did they know I was there? You guys can't hear the audio because I'm playing fancy music, but basically what happened is I teleported to the high ground. As I dropped down, you could hear me grunt. I was like, and then it just turned around and killed me. Unlucky. Obviously, you can't solo the entire enemy team. But yes, the point I was trying to make is you get a ton of value from this hero. You literally walk up to people, mindlessly firing at them, knowing you're healing yourself for a massive amount, and it's going to be super difficult for them to kill you if they try and get you in a Graviton, if they try and hit you with some sort of ultimate, or you can see a McCree running at you, you can just Wraith form and you're away, or you see a Brig about to bash you, oh, Wraith form, I'm away. It's so powerful. It's such a ridiculously powerful hero right now because he excels in this meta, and I can't see him going anywhere else. The value you get is second to none. If you look at like an Ashe, or you look at even a McCree or a Soldier, the amount of work you need to put in to get that level of value that you can get from Reaper by just simply being in the fight, you're just not going to get it, right? There's this sort of risk versus reward element, and Reaper right now is very much like Mei. There's not much risk because you've got a lot of tools to keep yourself alive. You've got your sustain, you've got your Wraith form. That's actually really strong, right? The other DPS heroes don't generally have that. I mean, you can see my stats here. I think in every game I played yesterday, I had gold limbs and gold damage. Easy. And I'm not the best Reaper player. I don't really play that much Reaper, but I'm just walking forward and getting massive value. There are similarities here that can be made towards Hanzo. Hanzo has a massive amount of value again because he's sort of just like YOLO yeeting his arrows down the corridor and he's hitting people. He's got massive barrier removal potential with storm arrows. Obviously his damage is not range dependent, so he can just do damage at whatever range he decides, which is really good. Reaper on the other hand has to actually be point blank to do damage, right? Or, you know, within like 10 meters to do any kind of viable damage. But Reaper's still good against destroying barriers. So this is the other point I want to talk about is, well, the point. When you get onto the point, Reaper is impossible to remove. Now, there used to be a king of this, and it was Doomfist. Doomfist was insane. He's on the point, he's brawling, you're not going to get him off the point. You can try, but he's just not going to get off the point. Thing is, if you pick a Reaper, or you've already just got a Reaper in your team, the Doomfist is not really going to do anything to the Reaper. The Reaper should delete the Doomfist, unless Doomfist punches you into a wall. If he doesn't punch you into a wall, you win that almost all of the time, that duel. He just cannot kill you. So we're in this situation now where Reaper is kind of a better Doomfist. Now, Doomfist has other strengths, doesn't he? Like, he's much better at, I guess, like picking people off before a fight begins and getting in and getting out, whereas Reaper, you want to be in the fight. You're not going to get that clutch kill, that pick at the start of a fight, and then you know your team are going to be able to go in. You're looking for the kills as your team go in. I say that as we're watching me like kill a Zen in the back line, but this is just like typical Reaper sort of behavior. You can port around, you can play on the back line, you can try and burn down the supports. It's just when the fights break out, Reaper is stupidly effective and he's nigh on impossible to remove off the point. So if we look at the hero as a whole, what we've actually got is a very, I don't want to say very easy to play, I want to say very easy to get value, because I don't want to demean people that play Reaper, because I know he's super effective and I've been playing him and having a lot of fun. I know he's really effective at lower ranks because people wouldn't generally deal with him, but now he's going to be effective at all of the ranks, right? It's crazy. So he's got massive sustain, massive damage, high survivability, he's mental. He is actually mental. Nothing can really stop him apart from a D.Va, and we're not seeing much D.Va because of the way the tank meta's gone with Hog and Orisa. Yeah, this is literally Reaper's playground. You should go out there and play Reaper. If you're a DPS player, give Reaper a go and just walk up to people and delete them from existence. You will get so much value from this hero. I literally cannot stress that enough right now. Mei's the other one that we're looking at as well. These are definitely the top tier DPS heroes, as crazy as that sounds, for getting value based on the way the meta is going. So as soon as roll queue hits the live servers, you want to get in there and you want to start playing Reaper. Now, could Reaper be nerfed? This is the other point. Maybe. I think they might look at things like reducing his damage range, so he actually has to be point blank. Maybe they look at things like reducing his self-sustain. Remember, 222 is a brave new world. We've already had Brig, who's been totally reworked. Maybe other heroes will need to be reworked, and maybe Reaper is one of those heroes. I'm not sure, but the fact is right now, this is Reaper's playground. Guys, I've been Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, remember you can subscribe to the channel. Click the bell when you sub though, so you get alerted to when videos go live. Also, follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa, and I'm also @Stylosa on Instagram. And I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.